Hey everybody, welcome to Hacking Gourmet Live. I'm Fred Rui. The St. Patrick's edition, if you didn't figure it out by the oddly creepy music that we'll be asking Jonathan about. It was like this animatrix Disney on acid type thing. I'm not sure. Maybe it was just my headphones. I'm playing with some new headphones. Anyway, welcome to the show. I'm Fred Rui. I'm your moderator for the evening. Please like, share, bookmark, whatever the heck it's all supposed to be on the little buttons there. Anyway, share this on Facebook. I'm sure the guys would appreciate it. I'm actually going to join them and cook a few things today. Matter of fact, I actually have a corned beef in the Instant Pot that is done right now, or at least that, so I'm going to go ahead and vent that. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to bring in Brian and Carney. Welcome, guys.
Good evening.
What's going on? It's been a while.
I feel
Got that
like
kissing
we're on.
noise in the background.
Yeah, that's got to be from Brian because I'm not doing anything really today. But that music was very Disney. It was very Disney-esque. But I did feel like I was in like Arendelle. I think that's the place from the Frozen movie, or the 7 billion times I've watched it with my niece. Yeah, it did have a really Disney feel to it.
I felt like it was that Nicolas Cage versus the possessed animaniac people that are out. I haven't seen it yet, but it looks oddly like the same as I would picture that music to be.
Well, you should see.
He watched it with his niece.
Well, you should see the music that doesn't make it because I went through probably about 30 songs, and we have a really tight budget here. So some of the higher end songs are a little pricier. So you pay what you pay what you get your money. Your money's worth what you pay for. So, but no, Fred, welcome. I'm glad to be here. I'm back in Miami tonight. Brian's in Texas. It's been 3 weeks since we've had a show.
Yeah, it does seem like it's been.
I missed it. I missed it. Sorry.
I was not on the last one either, so it's been a while for me.
So in the meantime,
That's right.
we had our last show was Chris Rosenthal. That was the Rose episode, a really fun episode. Fred and I moderated. If you hadn't had a chance to check that out, I highly recommend checking that out. You can see it on hackinggourmet.com. But Chris did an awesome
he did a great job.
Yeah, and honestly, we were talking after. I did run into Fred in Orlando last week, and we were talking and said, when we have guests on, that setup, that I'm going to send them a copy of the video of how Chris had his setup, just his cameras and stuff. So we thank him for being on there. It turned into an awesome show, and we had a great time with that. But on another note, Brian, I did finally try the Thanksgiving dinner candy corn.
Yeah. Did I undersell the horrific nature of these of the Thanksgiving candy corn? Did I undersell it?
I thought when you were eating it on the show, I was like, "There's no way that's the automatic reaction when you gagged." I had the same exact reaction. I ate the green bean one first. I think it was the same one you did. And I took a bite. I guess it was like, "This isn't that bad," and then I started to gag. It was rancid. Oh,
It's horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, I'm just not going to try
Brian.
it, so I'll just say no.
No, Brian, don't think you're left out. I have some for you as well, so you will be trying it at some point.
There's not an Uber guy delivering it to my door right now.
Oh, I should have done that. I so should have done that. That would have been awesome. He would have said there's no way in hell, and then somebody knocks on the door. That would have been perfect.
Right.
so what's everybody cooking tonight so far? So what do we got going on?
All right. Well, I am cooking for the first time because I've never been a big lamb guy, so I'm going to do shepherd's pie. And I found out that if you make it with ground beef, it's cottage pie, and if you make it with lamb, it's shepherd's pie. So I'm going to make shepherd's pie. I'm going to do a little twist, Texas twist. I'm going to top it with tater tots instead of mashed potatoes. See how that works out.
Awesome. So it's shepherd's pie if it's lamb, and it's what's
lamb.
it if? What was the other one?
And if it's ground beef, it's called cottage pie.
Interesting. That
Yeah,
should have been on the Gourmet FACS.
Yes.
Wow. So also, Fred, before we get into what you're doing and what I've got going on, in the time we've been off, we had our February gourmet smoke session. That took place up in Hartford, Connecticut, with our friends at the Penthouse Cigar Lounge. We had a great crowd there. We had 50 people. We did filet mignon dinner. That was an awesome time. So we had a really good time with that. So if people got to watch that, big success. And we've got actually our next gourmet smoke session coming up in March. It's this month. It's actually going to be on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. I just want to do a little rundown of that here early in the show. That's going to be at our friends at Fox Cigar Bar in Gilbert, Arizona. They also have locations in Scottsdale. We'll be hosting that live. That'll be at about 9 o'clock Eastern time because we're going to be on Pacific Coast time then. But that will be 6 p.m. Pacific time or Arizona time, and then it will be 9 p.m. Eastern time. But you can jump on hackinggourmet.com or meatandbone.com to get those packages. Those are available. And I did bring a special video with us tonight. This is an advertisement essentially, but we're releasing probably the most unique cigar. And yes, Brian and Fred, I do have 5 packs set aside for you when they arrive. But this is probably our most.
We keep hearing a lot of this, by the way. We have not tried these yet. We keep hearing a lot of these 5 packs. Brian and I know. Brian, I think we got a lot of 5 packs waiting for us.
Yes, but this one I actually have for you because this is our most special yet. So I have this little video here. This is a preview for those watching the show tonight of how the Macheta de Oro was made. This is the cigar that we featured during our gourmet smoke session. So here you go. Take a look at this. So that cigar will be available for our March 17th gourmet smoke session. It's going to be a great time. We'll review the food a little bit later of what we got going on with that. But as I said, join us March 17th. You can jump on meatandbone.com right now, pick up that package, just put in the search bar hacking, and they'll ship that package to you. It'll arrive temper controlled, just in time for you to prepare with us. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're doing a fun surf and turf for that. But as I said, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But Fred, what do you got going on today?
So I've got a corned beef. I figured, it's St. Patrick's Day, so I'm actually going to do everything in one pot, which is going to include preparing for something later that's going to be a tomorrow night meal. But I want to talk. So basically, I put this in 90 minutes ago, so it's all done. I think I can open it. It looks like I've just vended it. These things scare the hell out of me as far as just pressure cookers, and I just picture it exploding. So I checked it 5 times, but I'm going to go ahead and I know it's got the safety valve. So I can pull it off now. So basically the only thing I threw in here was some Guinness, a little bit of beef broth, some onions, what else? Oh, some garlic cloves. So I'm gonna pull it out now, and I'm going to let it rest for a little bit, and then I'm gonna broil it. But what I'm going to do at the same time, or not long after, is I actually cut up some vegetables. So I cut up some potatoes, some carrots, and cabbage, and I'm going to throw that right in the same mixture that's there and let it go for 5 minutes pressurized. Now, when you use the pressure cooker, you have to allow for time for vamping up, so I'm going to put it in there. It'll take probably about 7 to 10 minutes to actually come to pressure, and then it'll start the 5-minute ticker. And meanwhile, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the corned beef, I'm going to trim off a little bit of this fat, I'm going to put some mustard on and put it under the broiler, so I'm able to get a little bit of crispiness to the outside of it, because I'm going to be making myself and Tracy some corned beef sandwiches. That's it. That's what I've got so far.
So I've got, first of all, I've lost a cast iron pan. I have no idea where it is. I had some renovations done while I was gone. I got a new microwave in here, I had some repairs, and it appears that a leprechaun has taken my cast iron pan. However, I'm doing some fun stuff today. I'm doing a little play on corned beef, but I'm doing something different than brisket. I'm actually using skirt steak, and I'm sous videing this entire meal. So I've had on here in the sous vide, I've had my own little blend of Corning solution, essentially a brine with the skirt steak. I've had that sous videing for about 6 hours at 130 degrees. In that solution, I put it right in just a plastic bag, and then I put a wine bottle on top to weigh it down. I used coarse ground Dijon mustard. I used a bottle of white wine, salt, smoked garlic salt from our friends at Cooper's, and then I put cinnamon in there as well. So I got cinnamon in there, salt, pepper, garlic, and white wine. So hopefully it's going to get some good flavor to it. But I'm going to pull that out now, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a sear. So this is a little bit of a play on corned beef. I'm not going to fully boil it, and I'm going to sear it a little bit. And then I'm going to make a little light whiskey sauce. It's going to be, I'm not going to do a cream sauce with it. I'm just going to do a light little drizzle over the top, kind of like vinegar. I'm going to use that over the top of some of the vegetables here. And then I'm going to sous vide these vegetables as well. I'm going to get it up to about 190 degrees in there. And we're going to go for about 45 to 50 minutes on those veggies. And we're going to serve them piping hot at the end. For vegetables today, I'm doing onions, cabbage, carrots, and potatoes. So I got red bliss potatoes. So I'm just going to put those in a bag as well. I got my sous vide cranked up to 190 here, and we're in pretty good shape. So yeah, boiled dinner, sous vide style, a little twist on it, a little modern twist. And we're going to learn a little bit today about how American actually St. Patrick's Day is and how little Irish it truly is, in some of our gourmet facts there. But as I said, when we're here, let's look at what the food package is for the gourmet smoke session in March. So here we go. We go back to the main screen here with everybody. So as I said, we're at Fox Cigars next week.
That strong mustard.
Looking forward to that. It's going to be a great time. And the food we're featuring for that is going to be a 2-pound. So we're doing a 2-pound picanha with that. That's going to be, oh, sorry, not picanha. Sorry, we're doing tri-tip. Sorry, 2-pound tri-tip, Brian. So we got a 2-pound tri-tip that we've got going on for that. It's going to be excellent. It's going to be a roast. We're going to cook the whole thing on the grill. We're going to do a tempered cook with that whole 2-pound roast. So that's going to be a really good time. I'm doing that on the grill. We're also doing a surf and turf with that, and it's going to be U10 scallops, so a pound of scallops. U10 essentially means there's under 10 or under in a pound. So a whole pound will be about 10 scallops in there. And we're also going to top those scallops with the Grill Master's wasabi aioli sauce. So it'll be a wasabi aioli scallops. And then the unique thing we've got going on with the tri-tip is we're using the Fogo charcoal rub. That's a combination of charcoal, salt, pepper, spices, and other garlic and things that we're going to be putting on that. And it's going to make a really nice black texture to the outside of that, creating a unique crust. As I said, you can jump on meat and bone for that. So we're looking forward to that. There's the food. We took a look at the cigars, and we'll be having a nice dinner with our friends in Scottsdale and Gilbert. And you can join us at 9 p.m. Eastern Time next Wednesday, St. Patrick's Day. All right.
So I'm just waiting for the, I've got the mustard mixture I've got on top of the corned beef, and you can see that a little bit in the camera right there. And I'm just putting it up to get a little bit of a toasty kind of taste to it. As soon as the crock pot starts, the potatoes and vegetables gets up to speed, like I said, it's about a 10-minute process to get it up to pressurization. Then I'll know I'll have 5 minutes on the vegetables. I'll go ahead and throw the brisket in there and kind of keep an eye on that. And then I'm going to start working on some bread. I was able to go to the bakery today and actually get some fresh rye bread, so I'm really looking forward to that. I'll probably toast them a little bit, and then I'll finish them in the oven so I can melt the Swiss cheese.
Nice. Well, I got...
This is the only time of year I like to get corned beef because, quite frankly, it kills me to spend like $35 for 3.5 pounds of corned beef. Not even cooked. I really do think that, if you've got a good deli, I think you get it for about the same per pound as you do buying that. But, right now, all the grocery stores will put it at 50% off. And you can actually do one. It'll last about 2 months in a fridge. You can look at the date and you can I bought 2, and so I'll be doing another one in about a month or whatever. But it just kills me to spend that much per pound on these things.
Yeah, I'm the same way, and I'm not the biggest corned beef fan. I don't dislike it, but it's not my favorite thing in the world. I do like doing boiled dinners. I come from an Irish family, but it's not my favorite thing on the planet. And it's also not something, I know you can make it into sandwiches and things after, but I prefer other cuts of meat, so that's why I said I'm doing kind of my own corned version of a skirt steak. So that'll be kind of interesting. All I'm doing right now is just cutting up the vegetables here. I just cut the potatoes in halves and quarters, and I'm going to do the same thing with the onion. Just cut the ends off here, and I'm going to cut that into about 8 pieces and just throw that in to the bag here. And then I got to fill up my water a little bit more, because I got about a pound, I got a little over a pound of skirt steak. I'm really curious as to where my cast iron.
That's kind of weird that they take your cast iron. That's.
I mean, I live in a studio apartment. I mean, it's only so many places to go. It's not in the dishwasher. It's not in the stove where I usually keep it. I don't know. Anyway, I'll find it when I find it. But I've got some other pans that'll work. So if anybody's watching, any of our critics, and they're wondering why I'm not using cast iron, I'm just using these inexpensive stick-free pans. That's why.
I'm only concerned why you look in the dishwasher for it, because I can't imagine a reason.
Why would you
to be in the dishwasher?
Well, I'll be honest. My lady's friend's watching. I thought she might have put it in there. That could have been in there.
Okay.
I'm not. She knows better than that, but that was just my first thing, was to find somebody to blame it on, and I opened it. It wasn't there, so that was a good thing.
Good save.
Yeah, I think saying that she knows better than that, you better hope she's not watching the show. Wow. Okay, so I'm waiting for vegetables to get up to speed here. Like I said, these things always terrify me, but they are pretty cool. And let's see.
Alright, I got my lamb browns. I got some onion, carrots, some garlic with the ground lamb. I just added a couple tablespoons of flour to thicken it. Then I'm going to add some red wine, some beef broth, and a little bit of what's in here sauce.
So I did just get an update. I did just get an update from the lady friend. She says she for sure does know better than that.
Okay.
Do you trust a vegetarian's opinion?
With the cast iron, I do.
I'm staying out of this.
Yeah, wise decision.
Staying. Yep.
I kind of brought it up because I was hoping she might know where it was, but out of luck. So I just put some olive oil and garlic in these vegetables here. So a little olive oil, a little garlic. We'll take a quick look at the grill cam by our buddies at Meat and Bone. So olive oil and garlic in there. Got my sous vide off the side here. I got my skirt steak that sat here in the solution. I'm going to take that out and let that rest a bit. And I'm going to fill this up and just going to let it set for 45 minutes until we're ready to plate. And I got some yellow mustard off to the side here too to dip my beef in. I think one of the key factors of an Irish meal is yellow mustard.
So someone asked me how much Guinness I use in the mixture, and as convenient as it would be, the Guinness cans I like 15 ounces, and the Guinness cans are 14.9 ounces. So what happens is that you obviously need to open up a second can to get 0.1 of an ounce into the mixture, and then you have an entire can of Guinness that something needs to happen with it, which you just drink. So actually, I did put a little bit more Guinness in here for what we're going to do in the last step, which is not going to be this for this meal. But since we've already got it going, we're going to throw that in there. So Instant Pot finally got up to temp. The vegetables, the cabbage, potatoes, and carrots are cooking right now. I've got the brisket portion of the corned beef in the oven. Not to take away from Gourmet Facks, but in Gourmet Facks, did you talk about the difference between pastrami and corned beef?
I did not today, so you're very much happy. You could go ahead and talk about it right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just because that seems to be a common question on there. So they are very similar. They're actually technically different cuts of meat. The corned beef is typically almost exclusively a brisket. The pastrami is typically more from the shoulder region or navel region. A lot of times it ends up being a brisket, which is, confusing there. They both have different spices. But the big defining difference between the two is that corned beef is boiled and pastrami is smoked. A lot of times when they do the pastrami, they also have water in that environment, so it's able to steam it a little bit as you're going along. But those are the two distinct differences, because a lot of people are very much one camp or the other. I like them both, but I have to say I do prefer corned beef. And Jonathan made a point earlier as far as cooking corned beef. I have a tendency to go straight for the sandwich. So tonight we're actually doing sandwiches, even though this is going to be coming right out of the oven, right out of the pot. I'm going to go straight for sandwich on this. I tend to like the sandwiches better than just snacking on pieces of corned beef. But I say that, the leftovers I'll cut into slices, I'll throw in the fridge, and I guarantee you I'll be snacking on those for the next day or two.
Well, I have located the cast iron. Brian.
That's not
Fred.
right.
No, it's actually me. I have the most sensitive. I mean, you can see right here, I've got nothing going on. I have the most sensitive smoke alarms in the world. There's not one bit of smoke, not one bit of anything.
Aren't you using the
I will
Instabot?
not die in a fire. A lot of times, the one in the kitchen, which is right over there, I think the heat from the oven, I think it must be like in a pathway as far as those. Hey, let's do the top 5. By the way, we haven't done the top 5, sponsored by our friends at Wood Butcher, which have awesome cutting boards. You see them a lot on the show. You've seen them on the website. If you get a chance, actually, I need to talk to him because I need to have a table made. I wonder can you make a whole table?
He's been doing some really interesting stuff recently. So he's been doing some furniture. It's looking really good.
So this segment is sponsored by both Wood Butcher and Carney's Graphic Services, because I'm looking at this and I have no effing idea what this says. I mean, I swear to God, he goes out of his way to print something that is impossible. So I'm going to try this here, and I'm going to look really, really old manish looking up here. But 5 top green things. So Brian has money, chimichurri, Kermit, I'm assuming the frog, the Grinch, and looks like Yoda or Voda. I can't tell because Jonathan got really hot with the glow effect around text. Carney has got money, baby Yoda, which is not a thing, basil, avocados, and Boston Celtics. Nice move sneaking in the Celtics there. I like that. And I had chose guacamole, Brussels sprouts, English peas, chimichurri, and artichokes. Those were our green things. If you have something else you want to add to your favorite green things, definitely throw it into the comments. We'd love to hear it. And we're 9 seconds away.
That was actually quite impressive that you were able to read that.
That is horrific. You are absolutely the worst person at that. You realize that, don't you? All right, we're going to release the pressure because it scares the shit out of me. Here we go. Pressure's being released. Actually, I don't mind releasing the pressure. You can hear that hissing noise. It's the taking off the lid. I've seen those pictures on Pinterest of somebody like the lid like through the ceiling and break everything else on there. This is, by the way, one of the last times on the show, hopefully, you will see me on an electric range because we're actually going to move and pick up a new place, and one of the things I get to do is install propane and gas, and I'll be able to have a gas oven or gas stovetop again. And I'm super, super excited about that. If anybody's done a lot of cooking, especially when you start getting into sauces and things like that, definitely gas is the way to go.
Nice.
All right.
So Brian, we're going to jump over to you real quick, see what's going on. Walk us through where you're at.
Oh, yeah. Perfect time. So I'm going to top this with a little bit of bacon, which is non-traditional. And this, here we go. I'll show you too real quick while you're fixing your arm. That is going into the oven. under the boiler, get hot, and get ready.
Hands out of the room, but while he's doing that, I will show you this in a little picture-in-picture. That's the corned
And
beef.
jump back to you.
That's all right. I was just going to show. This is the corned beef that came out of the oven.
Ooh.
And it's got a little bit of a mustard crust to it, which I'm going to cut into here in a little bit. I'm the vegetables all into it. Back to Brian.
So where was the cast iron? Barney?
So I'm gonna go.
He discovered where it was.
Oh, the cast iron. It was. You know what? It was on top of the microwave. So what happened was when they installed their microwave, they pulled everything off the top and put everything back on top. So they reorganized, which was fine. I just wasn't looking for it. They piled some stuff inside of it. They actually had piled in all the Uncle Steve's shakes, coincidentally. And I've actually made quite a mess over here on my side. I actually accidentally poked a hole in my skirt steak corning solution, my little brine. So it smells very Irish in here right now. I've got Dijon mustard brine all over the place. It's a mess. But let me jump over the grill cam real quick. You can see how this came out, the skirt steak here in the sous vide. So here's skirt steak. Medium rare, did it 130 degrees, so it's going to be nice on the inside, nice and medium rare on the inside. We're going to dial up this cast iron here in just a few minutes and give that a sear and a little rest. And then I'm going to pull out just a small little saucepan. This is my small saute pan. I'm going to put there, and that's where we're going to turn into. We're going to make a little whiskey sauce with some mustard. Dijon mustard, whiskey, and the brine. And I'm also going to test the steak a little bit. Why not? All right. So the unique thing about this is at 135 degrees, the alcohol doesn't really have a chance to cook out. So it's got a really good alcohol taste to it. This is such a real thin piece. Skirt steak's very thin. So when I get a sear going on this, I said we're going to hit it with some olive oil. When we get a sear, that wine taste is really going to come through. Because when it sears, it's going to burn off a lot of that alcohol. So I'm really looking forward to trying that after it takes a sear.
Let me ask you a question real quick. So when you put that in the sous vide, you put wine in with the steak and in the bag when you put it in the sous vide. Is that right?
Yeah, I put it in with a bag, but I don't know if you've been watching online the last few weeks. I've been cooking some steaks just in wine, and I sous vide it in wine. This one I did it in the bag because it had mustard grounds in it, and I didn't want to gunk up the sous vide. But I've been cooking in wine the last few weeks, and it's been coming out awesome. I mean, just incredible sous videing in the red wine.
I am just starting to toast some bread. That's another shot of the corned beef now sliced up, which looks absolutely amazing. That's just
Now I know why Fred usually cooks outside, Brian.
Right? I'm having flashbacks to 2 a.m. in the morning when the fire alarm starts beeping.
a lot of different ways of cooking corned beef, as far as the boiling it and the baking it and doing all these different things. And I gotta tell you, and you've never seen me on the show drag out the Instapot. It is absolutely a home run on the Instapot. It doesn't shrink as much. It still has a lot of flavor. I use a little bit of Guinness, so it gets a little bit of that flavor in there as well. It's an absolute home run on the Instapot, I gotta tell you. This is
And the unique feature with the Instapot is the longer your fire alarm goes, the higher opportunity is that the fire department will actually come and cook the meal for you.
That's right. That's right.
Here, let me show you, just completely off topic here. A new toy I bought that I did not need, but this is my new spritzer for my barbecue when I'm doing briskets or ribs or beef ribs.
Oh wow!
This is filled with apple cider and apple juice, and obviously I didn't need it, but it's pretty cool to have it.
What do you mean you don't need it though? I mean, it's the perfect thing for spritzing. What were you using before that?
Spray bottle, which was working fine, but that looks a lot cooler.
I mean, normally Brian just drank some apple juice and spit on it. So yeah, actually, as someone that might go to his house to eat, I really appreciate the upgrade.
I could tell you were really freaked out about it when I was doing the brisket like that.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. All right, so wow, this is taking forever to vent. Okay, now we're done. So it's got a nice little lock on it, which is cool. So you can't really open it with it pressurized, which is really nice. So I'm going to take out the potatoes and the carrots and the cabbage. Nobody's going to eat, but it still looks good. And I won't eat the carrots either because I hate cooked carrots.
So for as little cooking as I'm doing, I'm making just an incredible freaking mess over here. I mean, an epic mess.
Isn't that usually the way it goes? At least you cook the more mess you make.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm literally, there's like nothing really for me to do. I cut up some carrots. I'll be honest, I tend to make a mess when I'm doing most anything anyway, but it seems to be when I do a boiled dinner, it just gets real messy. It's just, I don't know why. There's water, there's I mean, we got a 5-alarm fire going on over in Claremont, Florida.
I actually agree with you though. So I'm looking at my kitchen right now, and I'm basically just making a sandwich. I'm trying to figure out why I have so many vegetables for a sandwich. Okay, so I got my vegetables. So now I'm going to do something pretty cool. So I've got this mixture in here right now that is basically the onions, the garlic, the Guinness, the beef broth. So one of the things the Instant Pot can actually do, supposedly, is it can saute. So I have a mixture here of some honey and some horseradish and what else? There's water, salt, pepper. I don't know. I got a couple more things in here. This is what I get for pre-mixing it. Actually, I wrote it down. Let me see. What else did I put in there? So there's water, honey, brown sugar, mustard, Worcestershire sauce, and salt, pepper, horseradish. And basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out. I'm going to strain this, put it back in, hit it for saute, and I'm going to have a reduced Guinness sauce that I'm going to use in the shepherd's pie tomorrow. Which will be mixed in with the lamb. And we do half and half. We do lamb and ground beef. So I said that's a shepherd's pie hanging out of the cottage. I'm not sure how to define that, Brian. But basically, it's kind of a cut between the two. But I'm going to use this reduced Guinness sauce for that because I don't want to waste what I've got. And I'm going to do it right back into the Guinness pot, which I would normally just do it on a pan. But hey, since you're supposed to be able to do this, I'm going to do this and run it through the strainer. Put it back in, and then we're going to go with the reduced sauce, put the other stuff in there.
Beautiful.
Put up all the little big pieces.
So this is a good time for us to jump on, I think, Fred, to our Gourmet FACS.
Absolutely.
Got some really good ones. We're about to find out how un-Irish St. Patrick's Day truly is. So here we are, our Gourmet FACS. Brought to us by our friends at McGee's Smoked Meats and Crowned Heads. Brian McGee's got some meet and greets. I'm sure it's getting lined up on the calendar. Hopefully we'll start seeing some of those soon out in Texas. But here we go. Gourmet FACS. The real St. Patrick was actually born in Great Britain. It was not an Irishman. So there's some Gourmet FACS there. Our next. The Irish boiled dinner actually originated in the United States. It originated in the northeastern United States in New England, actually. And it's not a traditionally Irish meal. And a follow-up to that, the Irish stew is the official national dish of Ireland. Irish stew, not the boiled dinner. The Irish stew is the official national dish of Ireland. And I'm going to ask you a question. Where do you think the very first St. Patrick's Day parade was? Well, I'm going to answer that for you because the very first Irish parade for St. Patrick's Day was held in St. Augustine, Florida in 1601.
Wow.
Really?
Yep.
Who knew?
I was just in New York or Boston.
Well, you know what? I was thinking the
it's
same
Boston.
thing. And then St. Augustine's, I believe, is the oldest city in
It is.
the country. So you probably had people that immigrated from that part of the world over there. So when I read it, it made sense, but it was surprising. And here's our very last gourmet fact. Wearing green actually makes you invisible to leprechauns, who are well-known pinchers. So the reason you wear green is the leprechauns can't see it, and they aren't able to pinch you.
Oh, there you go. That makes sense.
So there's our gourmet facts brought to you by McGee's Smoked Meats and our friends at Crowned Heads. Speaking of them, Brian, what's going on? You eating?
No, I'm actually, I'm basically in the oven right now. I'm just waiting. I'm playing the waiting game. I'm
doing the same
You know it's in the oven if the smoke alarm's not going off.
So guys, I'm going to tell you one thing. I have this discussion with sous vide and all that stuff all the time. We talk about it quite regularly. And I like sous vide, don't get me wrong, as much as I talk trash about it. There are some fun things you can do with it. I've had a really great time with wine. I've been talking with our friend Cole about some different juices and things you can use for different meats, which is great. But this is the reason why I don't like sous vide. I'm not doing anything right now. I cut up vegetables. We're on a cooking show, and the three of us are kind of like standing around, and there's just not a lot going on. Like, I enjoy cooking. I enjoy having a cigar in my mouth when I'm doing it. The act of preparing a meal for me is excellent, and all I did is put stuff in bags and just let it sit there. And that's the reason right now why I don't enjoy it.
The hardest thing about prepping or deciding what to do for this show is to figure out what you're going to cook that's going to keep you busy the entire time. Like, I wanted to do shepherd's pie because of St. Patrick's Day, but I knew there'd be 20 minutes of it having to sit in the oven where there'd be nothing else to do.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you.
So there you go, people that like sous vide. We all like it. We're all fans of it here. But it really is not that entertaining.
I'm in it for the entertainment.
Unless you were doing it in the, when you did the sous vide in the wine, then you were just dropping the meat in the wine itself without a bag and bringing the wine to temperature, correct? How did that sear off, by the way?
Oh man, it came off awesome. So really what it does is it penetrates that crust threshold, that flavor, with the flavor potentials at our crush threshold, an old quarantine grilling term. It really creates like a little crust threshold all the way around this really dark purple crust. And then you sear it really hot and it gets this really dark black crust. So if you check some of the pictures that we had online, the crust on it was so beautiful, dark brown, almost black, and the flavor on it was great. You could actually taste the richness from the wine. It was almost a creamy texture. And I did a New York strip, and I've done a ribeye. The ribeye was by far my favorite, just because you take that acid from the wine and that tannic nature of the wine, and you put it with the fatty nature of the ribeye. It was just a really unique flavor experience on the palate, and it was awesome, and I highly recommend it. And today I'm doing the same thing, honestly, other than with the steak because I had mustard in it. I'm doing the same thing with the vegetables here. Like, I'll jump down to the grill cam and adjust it down into my sink. I just have the sous vide sitting right there. It's not quite where I want it for temperature, but I'm using small vegetables, so it should be okay. But I could have just boiled these, but I'm just using the sous vide because it's there. The thing is, when you do this, you got to make sure you clean the thing out. So what I'll do later is I'll leave the sous vide just sitting there kind of by itself, and I'll just run water through it so it'll stay clean. But it's been pretty fun, man. I highly, highly, highly recommend the wine. It is. I've never had anything like it. It was so unique.
Did you use just a cheap red wine, anything in particular, or just whatever?
Yeah, I just used inexpensive, just as inexpensive as I could get.
There we got our Reubens with our vegetables and stuff like that. I'll take an Instagram photo and put it on there. So, right, they look good. And so I'm sauteing the there it is. Sauteing out the Guinness to make a reduction Guinness sauce for the shepherd's pie. And I'm just gonna eat and watch you guys.
All right, I got about 10 minutes left.
Oh, that's good. That's good. But I'd hate to be the one that has to clean this kitchen.
Did you take a picture, Fran? Take a picture first.
And I'm just reducing down some of this wine mixture that I use. So I've got my little saute pan here. Got that on medium-high heat. And a little reduction, a little sear. Perfect shape. I sous vide this at about medium rare. But with the sear I'm giving on this, you're going to end up medium well, which is fine because we essentially marinated this while it was being cooked in that wine, garlic, salt, pepper, cinnamon mixture that I had there, my brine. So this is going to be a little more well done, but we said we marinated that. We really wanted the flavor in, and now we're caramelizing the outside here with the sear to activate those flavors that we got. So here, when you're cooking something like this, you're going to cook this a little higher than you normally would. Simply just kind of work those flavors together and get those chemical reactions that you get from the high heat on the outside, breaking down the citrus and the acidic nature of the wine. And I've got my mustard sauce here.
Would you rather this week?
We actually do have a Would You Rather, and it's really entertaining. And we can jump over to it here. I just get these steaks inside to rest.
Right. And all in one pot.
That's pretty cool. The all-in-one stuff's great.
So this one, I actually was tempted to try it. I didn't do it. So this one's actually also an air fryer. It's the Ninja model. I have the Instapot, but it's actually slightly smaller than this one. I thought of actually just air frying the top of the corned beef for crispiness, but I didn't want to get pulling all the liquid and do all the other stuff. It was lazy.
So here we go for the Would You Rather, gentlemen. I think you're going to have a fun time with this one this week. Our Would You Rather is brought to you by our friends at the Red Meat Lovers Club. You can go to www.rmlclub.com. They're starting to do in-person events down here in Florida. If you're in Florida, you can jump on their website and see where their event's at. They've got a really fun one planned on March 18th. That's going to be...
Is that the Wagyu bar?
No, that's going to be... that's the Wagyu versus Prime. And that's going to be in Davidoff of Tampa. They're actually doing a fundraiser for one of the employees at Davidoff Tampa who has cancer. So they're raising funds for her. So it's for a great cause. So that's March 18th. If you're in the Tampa market, jump on rmlclub.com and you can participate in that. And then they also have another coming up at the end of March and a few planned for April as well. So a lot of Red Meat Lovers Club stuff going on. But here we are. Would you rather, gentlemen? The St. Patrick's Day edition. All right, Irish Stout or Irish Whiskey?
Irish whiskey.
I'm gonna go Irish stout.
And I'm going to go with Brian.
One.
I'm going Irish stout. You can't lose, but Irish stout for me for sure. There's nothing like it. All right, gentlemen, we're just getting warmed up. All right, would you rather have mashed or baked potatoes?
Mashed.
Mashed.
I'm going mashed potatoes too. Everybody agreed. All right, would you rather boil all of your food or steam all of your food?
Wow.
I'm gonna go steam. Yeah, I gotta go steam.
Yeah. I'm gonna go steam.
I'm going steam as well, so you know what that means. I wish I had a glockenspiel on here. Wait, I do. That's a glockenspiel? Doesn't make any sense. Whatever. All right, the consensus is mashed potato and steam so far for everybody. Here we go. We get lucky here. This is a good one. Would you rather be the Lucky Charms leprechaun or a Keebler elf?
I'll go Lucky Charms because he always has a pot of gold.
Yeah, I like Lucky Charms better than I like any of the Keebler Elf cookies, so I'm just gonna go with Lucky Charms just on that premise alone.
I'm going with the Lucky Charms leprechaun. It seems like the Keebler elves are always working, and it seems like the Lucky Charms leprechaun's always doing whatever he wants. So Lucky Charms leprechaun it is, and here we go. We'll hit the glockenspiel one more time, even though it doesn't sound like a glockenspiel. Apparently that's a glockenspiel. And the very last one, gentlemen, would you rather dance an Irish jig always or speak only in limericks?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the limericks.
So if I'm only limericks, can I do it in Christopher Walken's voice?
I mean, I think you could do it any way you wanted.
All right, then I'm going with limericks.
I'm going with limericks as well. So there we go. The glockenspiel gets hit one more time.
Oh.
And that's our St. Patrick's Day edition, Would You Rather, brought to you by our friends at the Red Meat Lovers Club. And I think this is as good a time as ever to bring up the gourmet smoke sessions one more time. As said, on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, we have the Florida Dominicana Gourmet Smoke Session with our friends in Fox Cigar Bar in Gilbert, Arizona. You can take part in the food by going to meatandbone.com. We're going to be doing a 2-pound tri-tip with Fogo charcoal rub, and we're going to be doing 1 pound of U10 scallops with a wasabi grill master's sauce on top. So we got a great meal for you. It's all under $60. You can jump on that. And then also we will be releasing in conjunction with LFD the Machete de Oro, which is a special St. Patrick's Day cigar prepared just for that, and we'll be doing a live food presentation at 9 p.m. Eastern on Hacking Gourmet on YouTube and Facebook Live. So that'll be looking forward to that. That's March 17th, St. Patrick's Day.
All right, I got the finished product here if you want to see it. This is screaming hot. There we go. Shepherd's pie, topped with potatoes and bacon.
Oh, that looks good.
That actually looks really good.
Wow. Now you better take an Instagram photo of that or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now.
So after doing a 3.5-pound corned beef, and I'm not done snacking yet. After a couple sandwiches, that's all you got left. That's why corned beef is just for me. That I'm just like, man, there's just not enough of it.
So we've got going on here, gentlemen. I just cut into my beef. We're gonna take some of these vegetables aside. Let's go to the grill cam real quick. You can see I got a nice sear on here, but also at the same time, a nice medium rare on the inside. So that came out good. And as I said, one thing you want to do if you're going to cook it this way, try it before you sear it so you can tell the difference. The sear really changes the flavor profile. Like I said, brings it all together. I'm just going to stack this up in a pile here.
Now I'm full.
And we're going to grab some of these vegetables.
I'll tell you one thing that surprised me out of this is how good the cabbage was. The cabbage is actually really good out of this mixture. Not a huge cabbage fan, but say the Instant Pot does a pretty good job on simmering. It's this reduced Guinness sauce for the shepherd's pie tomorrow. It's on high. It's maintaining pretty good simmer temperature, maybe a little higher than I would normally. So I'm curious to see how it does, but it's reducing. And I don't know a lot about reduction sauces, but I know that reducing is the key part of it.
Great.
This is really, really good. I've never been a lamb guy. I don't know why, but this is really good.
Hey, Connie, did you make any vegan dishes?
I did not today. I am eating by myself, but I do have a side of vegetables. But if you want to talk about a reduction, let's look at that.
Ooh.
So we're going to reduce that all the way down. That's the white wine with the mustard, the garlic, the cinnamon, and that's going to go right on top on the side here. I'm not going to put it right on top. I'm going to dip it in that. But this is going to go right on the side here. And gentlemen, there we have mine. Irish boiled dinner made with skirt steak. Looks pretty decent. Gonna put a little vinegar on top, a little red wine vinegar on my vegetables. Get a picture here for the gram, and we're gonna call it good. I think it came out pretty good. I can't believe I can't believe how big of a freaking mess I made for just such a little amount of cooking.
Yeah, someone's got to clean all this up. All right, let's see. I think everybody's eating. Everybody's got food, and we are at the top of the hour. And I'm looking at the notes to see if I'm missing anything.
For the first time.
I think we're there.
So yeah, we can safely end the show. That's our St. Patrick's Day celebration. I think we did it. That's the first time we've all ever eaten the whole time. Yeah, any last words, anybody?
No, just thanks for coming. I'm going to let you take us out, Jonathan. I'll send Brian after me. So thanks, everybody. Real happy with it. The Instant Pot, last thing on the saute, because I'm getting ready for the Guinness stuff tomorrow. You don't put the lid back on when you saute up the Instant Pot. But if you like corned beef and you haven't tried it, the Instant Pot, it's super easy. 90 minutes on high, and you're done. So, Brian, the tater tot thing looked pretty good. What do you got for going out here?
Yeah, this was, again, first time for me. Turned out really good. I'm going to have to revisit lamb now because this is delicious. And super easy to make. Not a lot of ingredients, but, simplicity sometimes is really delicious. So I enjoyed it. Good to be back after a long absence and look forward to more.
Same thing here. Really good, different dish. I normally do a traditional boiled dinner. This was something fun and different. Said for me, it's really good, and I enjoyed it. I've been really having a great time doing those wine infusions with beef, so I highly recommend that. You'll see it again on the show. But you can catch us again on March 22nd for a live episode of Hacking Gourmet. That'll be our next live episode. But before then, you can catch us on March 17th. I'll be live out in Gilbert, Arizona, doing Gourmet Smoke Session number 6 with our friends at Fox. And as I said, you can jump on all of our partners' pages and check out everyone that's involved with us at hackinggourmet.com. And you can buy the food packages available on our friends at meatandbone.com. Fred, Brian, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Hope you all enjoy your dinners. Thank you for everyone for watching, and we'll see you on March 17th.
See you.
Thanks, everybody.